The story of America today begins not with a headline or a politician's speech, but with a silence. It is the silence between neighbors who once waved to each other but now cross the street to avoid an argument. It is the silence of families at dinner tables, where conversations that once carried warmth are now strained with division. It is the silence of a nation slowly forgetting how to listen, how to disagree without hating, and how to dream together. Anthony Scaramucci, a man who has lived inside the highest levels of politics and finance, often thinks about this silence. He has seen firsthand how power is used, abused, and sometimes redeemed. On the other side, Robert Greene, the author who has studied human nature with an almost surgical eye, looks at America as if it were a character in one of his books, brilliant, ambitious, but also deeply flawed, undone by the very strengths that once made it great. The two men sit across from each other in a quiet studio, and the conversation begins not with policy or statistics, but with a question: what is destroying the United States? Anthony leans forward, his voice carrying the urgency of a man who has seen chaos up close. It's the anger, he says. The constant need to divide, to label each other as enemies instead of fellow citizens. I've worked for people who thrive on this division, and I can tell you, it's poison. It's not just politics, it's seeping into our friendships, our communities, our homes. Robert listens intently, then adds, "You're right. Division is power for some, but destruction for all. In my studies of history, the great empires never fell simply because of outside enemies. They collapsed because they turned on themselves. Pride, arrogance, and the inability to adapt from within, it eats away like rust on steel." The story unfolds with a rhythm of personal testimony and historical reflection. Scaramucci recounts the moment he realized that political loyalty had become more important than truth itself. He tells of former colleagues who cared less about solving problems and more about winning battles, no matter the cost. He admits his own mistakes, how he once thought being close to power would allow him to change it from the inside, only to find himself changed instead. Greene responds by weaving the tale of ancient Rome, of emperors who used spectacle to distract citizens from corruption, of generals who saw the people not as partners but as pawns. We're seeing echoes of Rome now, he says. Bred in circuses in the form of media outrage, social media wars, endless drama. The more we fight, the less we notice what's truly happening, the decay of trust. Their words are heavy, but they are not hopeless. The story takes a turn as they recall people, ordinary Americans, who refuse to give in to the silence. A schoolteacher in Ohio who starts a community book club, bringing together parents from opposite political parties. A small business owner in Texas who hires immigrants.